What connects French architect Paul Gourdet with the historical center of Almaty? Why is the Jarkent Mosque the single surviving work of Chinese architect Han Pike? Where is Valikhanov's manor house Symbiotic located? Forgotten names and little-known facts, recent history and national color. All this is in the Grand Buildings program. Symbiosis of architecture and nature performed by Kisho Kurokawa. General plan and Astana airport as creations of great Japanese master. On the 20th anniversary of Astana, I would like to wish everyone a peaceful sky, health, and of course happiness. Astana is a very beautiful city. There are many modern buildings here, some kind of interlacing of different cultures. Moreover, this is actually reflected in each of the buildings.
В каждом из зданий.
I really like Astana in terms of architecture. Having visited many different countries, including the USA and New York with its Big Apple and interesting architectural structures, there is something to compare.
Архитектурными сооружениями есть чем сравнивать.
For Astana, 2018 is a jubilee year. 20 years ago, it acquired status of the capital of Kazakhstan. On December 10th, 1997, President Nursultan Nazarbayev announced that Akmola is the main city of the country. On June 10th, 1998, the official presentation took place. Today, Capitals Day is celebrated on July 6th, and it is a state holiday. Over years, the population of the metropolis has grown 3.5 times. Now more than 1 million people live here, and the building area expanded from 260 to 800 square kilometers. Mostly I like Nursultan Boulevard, which was designed by the architect Kurokawa. Here you can walk from Han Shatir to Akmola. There are many beautiful buildings to observe and enjoy. It is pleasant to walk with a family here. People walk with baby carriages, some of them walk after work and breathe fresh air.
После работы уходят, прогуливаются, дышат свежим воздухом.
Я в восторге, если честно признаться. Я не знаю, я не...
I'm delighted to be honest. I had not been here when I was living in Kazakhstan, but I noticed modern buildings in my second visit. Everything is modern, but there are purely Kazakh elements. I really like it. To be honest, if I go towards Bayterek, it attracts me like a magnet.
Он меня почему-то тянет к себе.
Then, in 1998, an international contest was announced for sketch idea the general plan of the future metropolis. Jury was represented by works of 50 candidates from all over the world. Victory in architectural battles was won by outstanding architect of modern times, a master of architectural world from Japan, Kisho Kurokawa. His project was concept of symbiotic and metabolic urban planning was recognized as best.
И вот когда все эти проекты были собраны, и жюри международное...
When all projects were assembled, an exhibition of works was arranged in the Congress Hall, the first floor, to show them to the head of state then. I brought my students to Congress Hall and gave a small lecture in front of it. I told about projects that they were observing, about their authors. I spoke a lot about Kurokawa. And there was a large crowd around me, except for students. People listened to me, and after I finished this lecture, one woman walked up to me and said that Mr. Kurokawa wanted to get acquainted with me. I stared with astonishment. How can it be so? I thought he was in Tokyo. However, he was here and listened to my lecture. That way, I got acquainted with Kurokawa.
Да нет, он здесь, он слушал вашу лекцию. И так я познакомился с Курокавой.
Mr. Kurokawa had to get acquainted not only with domestic architects, but also with the head of state Nursultan Nazarbayev. The president was impressed by the concept of the Japanese architect about harmony of urban and natural environment. Kurokawa's idea was not to interfere in the Yesil River. Il-Basir liked this idea. Other projects considered the river as an architectural axis of the city. This approach Kurokawa considered destructive to nature.
黒川紀章というのは思想を大切にする方なんですね。建築家というのは
Mr. Kisho Kurokawa respected philosophy and adhered to it. He always said that the architect had to be a philosopher and spectator first. And basis of his philosophy is harmony. Harmony is always combined with environment. Buildings themselves cannot exist without surrounding nature. All architectural structures must necessarily harmonize with nature and citizens.
にしてもそこでしかない環境と調和する。
In 2007, in an interview with a print publication, Mr. Kurokawa recalled, "Among 15 world architects, I received an invitation by mail to make a general plan of the new capital of Kazakhstan, Astana. I won this contest. It was not easy. I did not have normal source materials. We used photos taken from NASA satellites. Budget was miserable for such a big job. I had to invest my money and ask for help from our government organization, Japan International Cooperation Agency. However, difficulties are behind us. The capital is built according to my plan." When Kurokawa was 26, he became a founder of a new trend in architecture, metabolism. He entered into a polemic with Le Corbusier himself, who was a pioneer of architectural modernism and functionalism.
Ле Корбюзье в свое время, это великий архитектор 20-го столетия, он когда строил жилые дома, он говорил, это дом, это машина для жилья. Вот, то есть это...
Le Corbusier is a great architect of the 20th century. When he built residential houses, he said that the house is a car for habitation. That is, it was such a philosophy of its own kind. Then houses and cities were designed very rationally, from the point of view of both cogs and parts of machines. However, Kurokawa sees the city as a living organism on the body of another living organism, nature. Interaction of nature and the city must be taken into account. The city grows, it consumes water, land, air, and naturally allocates its vital waste. This can disrupt balance between city and nature, and he called it as symbiosis.
Естественно, выделяет и свои жизненные отходы, и это может нарушить баланс между городом, и это называл он симбиозом.
First building of Kurokawa, Nakagin Capsule Tower in Tokyo, was recognized as the best creation of metabolism and was included in the list of masterpieces of World Architectural Heritage of Docomo Mall International. This structure consists of blocks fixed to a common core. Inside it, there are shafts of elevators and communications. Capsule blocks can be removed in any order and replaced with new ones. For this building in 1990, Kurokawa was recognized as one of the leading masters of Japanese high-tech. As an architect, Kisho Kurokawa is just a genius, work-minded genius. He worked 24/7, 365 days a year. An ordinary person cannot work as a genius works, and he will not understand this. One day my colleagues and I worked on one project and sent a presentation to Kurokawa. He could in 1 second determine and understand if it was bad or a good design before him. And in cases of poor design, he took offense and left. He was very demanding of himself and wanted the same from others.
説明するんですけども、
His structures received awards in France, Great Britain, Japan, and the USA. In addition, Kisho Kurokawa is the author of general plans for several cities in Asia.
И мы проехали водно-зеленый бульвар. Сейчас я...
And we drove through Water Green Boulevard. Now we'll pass. I'll show you. This is one of Kisho Kurokawa's idea. It is the Nursultan Water Green Boulevard.
Мы уже дожил.
Nursultan, or former Water Green Boulevard, is one of the main sites of the capital of Kazakhstan. It seems that Kisho Kurokawa saw it in his fantastic plans. 20 years later, it is a pilgrimage destination for tourists. People rush here to look at the symbol of Astana by Terek. They walk along avenues and admire architectural diversity of the country's main city from here. Isaac Joe was born in California. He traveled to 52 countries. 6 years ago, he arrived in Kazakhstan. Here, he decided to settle down and started a family. Now, Isaac travels exclusively inside the Republic. He has visited 6 cities already. However, Astana eventually became his second home.
Every place you go to has its own uniqueness, and Astana has its own, right? Astana is like a beat of from Vienna, or we could say a beat of from Rome at night, and maybe a beat of from New Zealand, that's Christchurch at night. It's beautiful when you're flying over. It's not bad to look at. It's very attractive. The lights are super cool. The buildings, of course, the architecture. And it's open. It's not closed, it's open. So you can see things from afar, like in London.
Boulevard is in form of 3-level structure. The lower level is reserved for parking, medium for shops, exhibition halls, and offices. And the upper level is occupied by a pedestrian zone with intricate alleys, original flower beds, and neat lawns. Special decorations of the boulevard are wonderful fountains and decorative sculptures. Idea is perfect. Especially from the bird's eye view, it is very chic. All this is very beautiful. People have places where they can spend their leisure time. There are places where you can take a walk on holidays and weekends. Taxi driver Sergei Romanov jokes that in addition to other duties, he performs the role of a guide for city guests. He takes clients to the right places and on the way gives a small tour. Sergei knows about every site of Astana. People are surprised because of the architecture. Everything is new for them. Of course, when you tell them that there were fields and continuous step, people wonder how quickly and in a limited time it was possible to build the city. It was not easy for Kisho Kurokawa to create an ideal city of the 21st century, even though this idea was great. During his lifetime, people called him a genius. He came from a prosperous Japan and saw a city before him with rotating blackouts of electricity, rarely passing cars of Soviet manufacture, and a population of less than 300,000 people. Hence, his conclusions and calculations appeared. His point of view was based on an understanding of the country's economic and potential capabilities.
Когда он проектировал город, и когда он приезжал сюда со своими отчетами, он меня спрашивал, что тебе в этом проекте нравится, нет. Ну, я ему говорил, что мне кажется, что у вас...
When he designed the city and came here with his reports, he asked me what I liked or disliked in this project. I told him that it seemed to me that his streets were not quite right. The head of state said it was a modern city. I said that there were no junctions. Widths of streets were very small. There would be holdups and traffic jams. He explained to me that he could project it all. It would not be difficult for him. He told that he did not want to damage our economy. He wanted to project transitions, tunnels, he could design metro and anything. He said it would be beautiful, but all this money raised for construction could damage our economy.
Это будет красиво. Но ты представь, когда вы соберете столько денег, чтобы все это построить, это будет урон вашей экономике.
Kurokawa miscalculated with the main indicator, domestic experts say. He could not assume such a rapid growth in the Astana population, predicting 1 million inhabitants only by 2030. And already in 2016, Astana became a city with 1 million people. Result of such a mistake became narrow streets, absence of automobile junctions, and shortage of some infrastructure facilities. Astana residents find their own simple explanations for some inconveniences that occur in their modern city, and they know how to forgive their beloved city.
Машин больше стало, однозначно. Никто не предполагал.
Of course, there are more cars. Definitely, nobody assumed that there would be such a stream of cars. Definitely, it could not be a mistake. Nobody could guess 18 years ago. Today, our capital can show itself to be on a high level in comparison to other capitals.
Не то, что конкурировать. Спокойно на уровне других столиц сможет заявить о себе.
Astana International Airport is another project of Kisho Kurokawa. President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, entrusted him to design the main air harbor of the country. Kurokawa had a task to make the airport a visiting card of the young capital and to embody in it a new image of a sovereign state. Implementation of a large-scale project for reconstruction and modernization of the airport terminal began in 2002. After 3 years, it was inaugurated. The futuristic design of the complex, Japanese architect united style of Eastern and Western traditions. Central part of the building is crowned by a dome with a diameter of 45 meters and a height of 36 meters. Space below it has proportions of a traditional yurt. Exterior decoration color is also important. These are shades of the national flag. It gives a special color to the building and creates a patriotic attitude among passengers. I like it, especially when you're abroad for a long time on vacation or at work, and when you miss your native land, you arrive. It really warms your heart and soul. Because there are ornaments everywhere, there are stores with our national clothes. What we have in people, we meet it in everyday life. Moreover, the dome itself is a yurt. Everything is emphasized. Bright mosaic is used in the airport interior. It is easy to read two types of Islamic patterns. Kisho Kurokawa actively cooperated with domestic architectural workshops, consulting in construction methods and the choice of materials and decor.
Ну вот видите, какое замечательное пространство при входе. Вот она напоминает...
You see what a wonderful space at the entrance. It reminds of Kazakh big yurt. Red shanrak is hanging there with a painting. Our architect, Sagindik Jambulatov, made this painting. That is, Kurokawa also worked with our architects because he thought our people knew better in light preferences or ornaments.
В тех световых предпочтениях или в орнаментах.
The main task of the architect was to develop not only a convenient but also a safe space. This building should function in the harsh climate of northern Kazakhstan, where difference in temperatures in winter and summer varies from -40 to +40 degrees Celsius. Scrupulous Japanese maestro is constantly searching for intended embodiment.
Курокава вообще великий архитектор и художник. Я был свидетелем того.
Kurokawa is a great architect and artist. I saw how he was demanding about choosing the green color for frames, for example, how he rejected it for a long time. He approved the color only when he really liked it, and he considered it necessary.
Твердил то, что вот это подобрали нужное, то, что он считал нужным.
Building of the Nursultan Nazarbayev International Airport consists of 5 floors. 2 lower floors operate as the arrival and departure terminals. The top 3 levels are occupied by business class halls. Right in the dome of the building, there's a parking for 420 cars. New terminal is equipped with latest technology. These are 6 jetways and airport apron of international lines for reception of any type of aircraft.
2 раза в месяц я пользуюсь услугами этого аэропорта. Я прилетаю.
Twice a month I use services of the airport. This airport is very convenient in terms of boarding and unloading passengers. Well, it is also different in its original design, which is presented in the Astana city. Nazarbayev Airport has its own oriental style. It is distinct in design and architecture. Moreover, the location is very convenient.
Аэропорт, отличающийся какой-то восточным стилем, да? Дизайн, архитектура, то есть само расположение очень удобное.
Domestic and foreign guests to the airport are attracted by not only the comfort and service, they are fascinated by the unusual design and inimitable style of the air harbor created by the Japanese architect.
Because I have the privilege of having seen Astana the last few days, and it is such an impressive city of architecture and design. It is truly, truly impressive.
However, opinions of architecture experts are more restrained. Domestic architect Amanjol Chikanayev believes that perhaps the Japanese colleague did not cope with this project. He expected more scale from the author of the airport in Kuala Lumpur.
Здесь я вижу просто обыкновенный, хорошо решенный проект.
Here I see just an ordinary complete project, and we had discussions in this regard. I told Mr. Kurokawa that I understood what he wanted to do here. He wanted to portray some national element of our architecture, to make a dome, and so on. However, I thought he did not solve another task. We have a damp climate, and people should be in frost of 30 to 40 degrees with suitcases and trolleys. They should go from these stops inside. Why cannot we make it 2 levels and get into the takeoff area zone from undercover? Why we cannot do this?
Двухуровневый. И в зону взлета попасть сразу под укрытие. Почему этого не делаете?
Pursuance of careful budget distribution, which was the basis for the project of the capital's airport, as well as other external factors, did not allow Kisho Kurokawa to fully reveal its potential, Kazakh specialists believe. But it is not his fault. They think it is their own mistake.
Это не критика Курокавы. Это просто воспоминание о том.
It is not criticism of Kurokawa, it's just a memory of what we missed. We were thinking of what we could not do, what we could not say to him. We could suggest and advise him that he would not be guided by any constraints of circumstances and so on. And he did it bravely as he could do it.
Это проще. Сделать смело так, как он может это делать.
General plan for construction of Astana and the international airport of the capital have become one of the last projects realized during the life of the great master. He died in 2007. But the philosophy of Kisho Kurokawa in Kazakhstan continues to be realized by his students. One of them, Yuji Imayo, has been living here for 18 years. Among his works are projects for the Nazarbayev University in Astana. Here he developed the landscaping of the atrium room, designs of facades of educational buildings, and general plan of the scientific park. In addition, in Almaty, Imayo-san designed Sakura Home Complex. Of course, he oversees completion of his teacher's projects, such as the construction of the stadium for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in the Russian city of St. Petersburg. 5 internationally famous architects participated in the international competition for the stadium project, including Kisho Kurokawa. And when he won this contest, on the way back, he said to me that I have done everything well, and if I try, then I can become like him. Of course, I cannot become like Kisho Kurokawa, but his words save me. Every day, these words remind me that I need to try constantly. Together with the young Astana, the general plan of which was made by Kisho Kurokawa, a new generation of Kazakhs has grown up. They are 20, like the capital. They see the world's masters of architecture in a new way, but do not deny their colossal contribution to history.
Когда я узнал, что Имао-сан ученик Кишо Курокавы, я тогда удивился.
When I found out that Imayo-san was a student of Kisho Kurokawa, I was surprised then because Kisho Kurokawa made the general plan of Astana. I live in Astana and it is a space for people. There is a place where you can live. And I heard that for many Japanese architects, the main thing is not only design, but they want people to have an easy life where they will live in the future. If I admire Imayo-san now, then Kisho Kurokawa is a legend of architecture for me.
Имао-саном, то для меня Кишо Курокава это как легенда и архитектура.